FOMO.
You sound like a Pet Shop Boys.
Okay.
How's my audio? Is this better?
Yeah, sounds good.
It's good. Sounds good.
I'm going to buy you on Black Friday, Christian. I'm going to get you one of those microphones that Stephanie's got there.
I know, you need one. Clean your camera too, Chris. What the heck?
I have no idea.
You look like you're a glamour shots, like a soft focus.
It's an Insta boy.
Probably too many pixels to display.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just do some quick introductions then. So, for the benefit of for everybody that's watching, will be watching, and for all of us here, I'm Mike Devitt, and I've got a web design company called webdesignpro.co, and Christian, over to you.
Hey, I'm Christian. I live in Brazil, and I got my company Brightsol, where I do web design for clients all over the world.
Lovely. Kathy, over to you.
Oh, well, thank you. I can't be seen. I'm sorry for that. But I'm Kathy Fisher. I'm one half of Fisher Green Creative up in Portland, Maine in the US. And we do website design and marketing for our clients.
Lovely. It's lovely to have you, Kathy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And Miro.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Miro. I'm a web designer from Ireland. I work mostly with Divi. I'm a big fan, and I love all the things digital. And my website is justbodyproduction.com, which sounds weird, but I like to produce stuff for companies in a digital form. So that was the idea behind the name.
Okay, thanks, Miro. And Stephanie.
Hey guys, I am Stephanie Hudson with Focus WP, white label WordPress maintenance, and I'm excited to see what these guys are going to show us today, what Christian has dreamt up this time. So,
here we go.
What does your mug say, Christian?
Convictions. It's a title of a CD my cousin created, so I got it in trade for creating her website. So yeah.
You got a mug?
Yep.
I think she got a good deal.
Yeah, I think so too.
That pro bono you're doing there, Christian, for a mug.
Yeah, it's
no, it's not called pro bono if you get a mug.
By the way, I have fancy glasses.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I love his glasses. That's brilliant, Miro. 3D. Okay, so Christian, I'm going to hand over to you to take us through your CRM and some other bits and pieces that we had a little chat about earlier, and things that you've done with ACF applications as well. Forgive me, I might just jump in a couple of times to either ask you some questions or just stop and check some understanding. Yeah, please fire away.
So, hello guys. So I had the chance to share a bit of advanced custom fields, and I wanted to start off just showing some examples of the things I created over the last 2 years using advanced custom fields. And one of the most extensive sites using ACF is a car dealer. So what I created here is a system so they can manually add their cars, which will automatically be added to their site without them having to work with templates, without them changing anything of the layout. So
Hey Christian.
Hey,
Can I interrupt you already?
Yeah, sure.
Can you please explain for us dummies out there what ACF is, what it stands for, and what it is?
ACF is a system that creates custom fields, just like
Was it advanced custom fields? Is that what the A stands for?
Yep,
Yeah.
advanced custom fields. So it's kind of personalized fields where someone could, for example, in a blog or a custom post type. So, for example, books, course, job openings, whatever thing you can display on your website that could possibly have a fixed layout, where you have just a recurring fields. For example, the name of a car, what kind of engine, how many cylinders, the year it's built in, the make and model. So these are all kind of information, the sorts of information that would always be displayed in the same way, but you don't want the other person to every time to change the layout. So they just want to have like a kind of contact form, which they fill in the fields like name, email. In this case, will be name of the car. It will be the year. It will be maybe the efficiency for the efficiency of the car, for example, in CO2 emission. So, for example, later on, I'll show you exactly how it shows from the back end. I just want to show a little bit of examples of the things. So here's like some cars that I created here. Let's go into single car just quickly. So in this case, I created this page where the client adds his own information. So for example, you have the title, the background image, you have the year, it's diesel, so you have the type of
Fuel.
how to say that, fuel, transmission, all the information like the color of the car, how many, what kind of power, how many horses, and also the all the information here. So if they have like to pay certain taxes, so you can add any information here in a certain template. So in this case, my client will have just a kind of a contact field where they just type in 1422 cc. So just the numbers or the information.
Yeah.
And in that way, you have here as well some related cars. Let's get to another example. They have job openings on their website as well. So the status of the job opening, how many hours to when it's opened, and all the other information that you can think of here, like a job description, requirements, what kind of position it is it full-time, part-time, is it just a weekend job, things like that. So basically everything you can think of you can create here. Another example here is a fact.
You've created these. You've in order to do those all of what you've achieved that car site. You must. How many different custom fields will you have created for that? I mean, we're talking about 50 or 60, aren't we, for each different area?
Just let me just do a quick login so you can see it from the inside. So if I be able to add, so I have like the cars here on the left side, and I got the job openings as well.
Yeah.
So if I were to add a new car, let's see. So let's add a new one.
So you got your custom post type.
Yep. So basically everything I do in this way, I create a custom post type, which is in this case cars, or semi-new cars, and it can be parking systems, it could be products, it can be books, whatever, just something you name differently. So for example, posts for a blog is a custom post type. and as well projects included in Divi is as well.
So would you create the custom post types with plugin or manually create the templates, PHP templates?
Well, myself, I created just with PHP because I have just one basic a function I have, and I can just swap the names, and I have it ready. But when starting for the first time, it could be easy to use a plugin like CPT UI, where you can just insert the plural and the singular names, and it generates automatically. And what you can do as well, you can export that code and add it to your functions.php in your child theme. So you can later on remove the plugin. So you won't need it anymore. So you just use it to create the code.
So basically, just breaking that down, then you started before we talk about the actual fields themselves. You started off doing it via PHP, but obviously you use the custom post type plugin, create your custom post type, and then create your advanced custom fields from within this.
Exactly.
Can you use a plugin? Can you use a plugin if you don't know PHP?
Yep, CPT UI is a good one.
CPT
UI. Yep, it's I think it's one most common one. It's custom post type UI, so it makes it easy to. Let's see if they got any images here. So basically, they ask you to get the post type slug, the plural label, and the singular, and you have the liberty to add your different labels here. You can leave it empty, and it will generate based on your singular label or your plural label.
Yeah.
But you can fill it in by hand as well. Yeah. But if you have like exported it here, you can export it, and then you can just insert the PHP in your child theme or just a functionality plugin, which I've done in my CRM. But in that way, it's easy to apply for the ones that don't have a lot of experience with PHP. Yeah. Currently, I hid the item here in the menu for custom fields, but I'll show you a little bit later in the CRM how that works, how you create them. But basically, if you have it set up for the client, in this case, is just add a new car, and they will have like here the information that they could just fill in the fields.
Yeah.
So the pricing, you can have like pre-label. You can include here, which I insert like the euro symbol. You can have something after as well. So for example, here you get like how many kilometers, so the distance it had so far. So you just put in the number, and you have like the after text here as well. So how many doors, 2 to 3, how many places, how many seats in the car, how many PK, horsepower. So a lot of things that you can set up, and in that way, it's just easy for the client to fill in. I could also make, for example, this field 1/3, make this field 1/3 as well, and this one as well. So it will be a little bit smaller, but in this case, for this client, I didn't do it. But I can add it here as well. I can edit it easily. So you see here, I just gave the group a name of occasions. So for the semi-new cars, where I have like the different fields here, where I could just give the field a label. I can give it the field name here, which is used as a slug when you call it on the front end.
Yep.
And you can have like a lot of different types of fields here. So it's quite a lot.
This is all part of the ACF Pro, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the majority here is just of the free version.
Looking awesome.
In my CRM, I'm going to show you the repeated field and why you should use that, and why is that included in the Pro version. But here you can see, for example, the pre-appended input, which I did give some HTML styling as well to be targeted a little bit better on the front end as well. But basically, these are the fields that I used here. So yeah, 29 fields. So not 60 in this case, but 29. But for example, here you got one options, which is a WYSIWYG editor, which is used to create kind of a numbered list of options that I could just copy paste and give it a numbered list, or with just bullets. And with PHP, I had it organized alphabetically, automatically, so they won't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So in that, so if you know a little bit of these things, you can create any field possible. You can name it whatever you want. So it can be like a job opening. It could be a fact page where you have like a question and answer, what you have. Hey, Kylie.
And is it this is based, how is it rendered on the front end, if I may ask?
I'll tackle that a little bit later with the CRM, just to share some examples, and then we'll dive into the back end of the things.
Okay.
Here I got like some parking systems, for example, where I have like a category as well. I have a linked project. I have an image here, image gallery here, using a shortcode. Some other information here as well, which is all inserted by advanced custom fields. A project here with some project information, so the year, the location, which parking system is related, how many parking spots you have, the year, for example, here for project. It's all ACF as well. Let's see, created product pages as well. So this is like a product archive where I have like the price of the product, some specific information about the product, the description here, a label which they used here. Let's see, I got here is CD as well, which I mentioned before about the music. Let's see. If I go to one of the songs, let's see. So in this case, the image here is a custom field. The links here are custom fields to insert a link. And with HTML, I was able to show the image of the source of the platform as well. You have the lyrics here with ACF. I have here like an archive that I could include a PDF with the lyrics, with the chords as well to download. The YouTube video. So basically, you can do everything with ACF. From duration of a song, things. Yeah.
And to see the different, all the different sites that you use this on, and the different ways that you've used it, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think the best, the largest site I'm implementing it now is in the form of a CRM, where I have like clients, where I have contacts, where I have tools and domains, and where I have like the status of a client in the lead generation process, where I can get like using a taxonomy, I can indicate the status. So it's a lead, if it's just getting to know the client, if it's in the phase of classification of a client, if I send a proposal, if we're negotiating, and if we finished it and I got the client and I closed the deal. So for example, if I go to clients,
Hey, Kylie.
sneaked in there. So for the Netflix fans, I included here a company from Scandal and from Suits, Pearson Hartman.
Nice.
Just for the demo content. So we
Good.
have for Pearson and Hartman, we have like contact persons like Harvey
Mike
Specter
Ross.
and Mike Ross.
Nice.
So in this case, I have like some filters set up here using Search and Filter Pro, where you can filter like on the status of the client, if it's a lost client, if it's a client that's active, or if it's a prospect in the lead generation process. So if you go to a client, we can see a logo that I can include. I can include the date when this company became a client, the status, the source, how it did get the client, what kind of services they have contracted with me, the contact persons. I didn't fill any information here, but you have like the invoice, address, some other information about the company. The fields that I didn't fill in are fields that are hidden as well. So if I don't fill it in, it's hidden on default. So you have like the address. I can have like a different invoice address and a postal address as well. I can have some payment information, which I will show you as well in the backend. I have some information about the services. So for example, maintenance, backups, updates, content updates, and the price I sold it for this client. I can include, for example, plugins that they're using that I bought for them to use. So I know when and how to invoice them in time, support to include the number of a support ticket, some hosting information about where they registered the domain, hosting panel, FTP information, name service, email accounts. So if I set up email accounts for the client, I can just save it here. Account information here at the bottom, where I can include, for example, information about Google Analytics, which account has access, MailChimp, or whatever system they use that we need to integrate. Or for example, if I created WordPress accounts for them, I can include the information here as well, the password, the email that I used for them, and a description of for who it was. And I can upload as well some documents. So I can upload like the proposals, the proposal I sent, a contract, certain agreements we have, for example, about data protection, whatever information you send to them, you can include here as well. And I set up here a little nice menu as well to scroll down and to get to the information. If I click here, I can get to editing the client.
It's so pretty, Christian.
I love design. Design first.
It's so pretty.
It's
So,
experience, isn't it?
All those words are funny looking, though. That's the only trouble.
That's a code.
So if you get to the back end of the client page, you have like a client number, the date when a client got client, so you can insert the date, the type of client. So it's for me an A client, B client, or C client. So the C clients are the clients that I don't like, that I just want to get rid of. The A clients are my best clients that keep returning, that are on a maintenance plan. And the B clients are just the clients that maybe I like them, or they are paying me my monthly retainer or maintenance package, but maybe they don't have a nice attitude, or I just don't prefer working with them. Just for me to prioritize in the later stadium as well.
You don't like them, but they pay. Yeah, that's important.
Exactly. For example, next contact. So included here, when is the next moment to get in touch with this client, which I can include. some information about finances, so you can include like invoice number, date, and the value. I can insert like if they paid or not. I can insert a description. I can even include a file like an invoice, and this is the repeater field. So this is one of the fields that is different from ACF Free and Pro.
And this is what they recommend having Pro for, is that you can use the repeater field.
Exactly. So you have just one field set up, and you can just add a new row without adding, like in the back end, a lot of fields. And I can just add new row, new row, new row, new row. And it will show quite pretty on the front end as well in a table. And you can add like a scroll with CSS. So if it becomes larger than your screen, then you have a nice horizontal scroll as well. So you don't have an overflow.
Just out of interest, Christian, without all the styling that you've done on the site,
yeah,
how does that form actually look without all of the benefit of the styling that you've done? If you just literally went and took off your child thing for a second.
Let's see if I just disable some of the CSS here. So let's see, let's go down here to this part here. For example, the single client. Let's see here as well. So here it goes to single client icons. Let's see. So let's go there.
Okay.
So if I go to this space here.
Bring in your cache.
Let's see. Yep, cache.
Good old cache.
So in this case, it would show just without the styling. So you can see what difference the styling makes here as well.
Yes,
so you can see these. You can see that that the icons have gone. But that's just me as well. I just use a lot of CSS.
Yeah.
Because then it's easy to change.
It's not a disaster, is it? It's not. Whilst it does benefit from it, from what you've done, it's also very translatable onto the site.
Yeah, exactly. Because ACF has their short codes, so it's like between brackets you have ACF and then field, and they just insert the field slug, and in general it outputs the exact output. So you can use a text module, insert the short code, prepend like a title, or you just add a title above it, and you give it like an H4 tag to have like a field title. But then they have like some information here about the address. I can have like, the company address is different from the postal address, so they have like a post box, and you can just change it here. So you can have like a conditional field. So is it the same? It's hidden. It's not the same. Then it's shown, and that way the ticket and support tickets again. I have here the repeater field. So it's quite handy. The services as well. So if a client has sometimes different services that they contracted, so I can add here, for example, a web build. I can add like a 5-hour project. I can add whatever description I want. I can add like title. So you can add like, even if it's like a 50, if it's in a down payment and a final payment, or you can have like the full payment. You can add even the invoice numbers to have it cross-referenced. There's a lot of information here as well about the hosting as well. Registrar is the same as the hosting company or not. The accounts, where you can like insert the link, the login, password, and the description of the account in documents as well. So you have like, I put in like financial documents, legal documents, sales documents, like proposal, first, second, third proposal, every other document. And here again, this is just all repeater fields,
Okay. So
all the name server information.
apart from the repeater fields, which I can see the benefit and the use of those. Is there anything else that you use in the advanced in the pro version of the plugin that
Well, I think there's the cloning of the fields. So if I would go into field management here and I go to the fields, I can easily clone fields.
Okay.
So if I go to in a field group, I can just duplicate it and then just change it, and I can add change it. So here you got for the financial part with the invoices, I have these subfields which I just can choose, and I can add whatever subfield I want.
Yeah.
I think that's the pro version, to duplicate it and to have the repeater field. Let's see here, flexible content as well. I haven't used it yet, but it seems to be a great thing here. But I just don't know it yet that well to use it. So maybe in the future I will just use that field for whatever motive, whatever reason. But yeah, basically that. Let's go to, for example, contacts. Just have another ID, so I can have the contacts as well. So we have a Harvey Specter here, and I can add as well the next contact that I have with him. Let's see. I can add, for example, if they use WhatsApp, if they use FaceTime, the preferred contact method. So I have a checkbox for I have Zoom, Skype, Slack, Facebook, WhatsApp, email, phone, preferred language. Well, in my case, that's an issue. Just nice to have it included. Company, and have some history about contact with their client. So if I would, for example, go here to contacts and I go to Harvey himself. Let's see, Harvey. So I can say, for example, that we spoke today, the 12th of November. We spoke by email, and
you told him you were going to sue him.
Said he had a privacy issue and accessibility problem.
Ooh.
Just like Domino's. So in that way, if I save it now, it's updating, and if I go to history, I can add it here and I have it shown. So the 12th of December, I had contact with him by email, and it was about this. So then, for example, you can say, well, that day and that day we resolved it, and I can just put in some content, because a lot of time we have we're in touch with clients and we don't remember exactly what happened, and we just know for which type of clients that will be necessary, just to register it and to be able to track it if we had contact on WhatsApp and then on email on the same topic, and you just add it here and you have the history here.
Okay. So that's brilliant. Quite Christian, that's brilliant. Everything you've covered, fantastic. Is there anything else that you need us to see in relation to this?
Well, I think the interesting part is that you've seen how it is on the front end.
Yeah.
You saw how it is on the single page.
Yeah.
And now it's interesting to see how to get it shown on the front end.
Yeah, that's what I would love to know. Yeah.
So in this case, what I use is the CPT layout injector. Probably it would be able to do it as well using the theme.
The what? Sorry, what did you call it, Christian?
CPT layout injector. Let's see here. It's basically a plugin where I can select which Divi library layout I can use. So in this case, I have clients, and I just select which save layout I use. So client single, and I have here the archive template, which is client archive. How convenient. So in this case, for example, I have client single, client archive, and I have here something on top, client loop. So the loop is what you see here. If I go to the client page, so this is the archive page basically, and you have each one of these lines is a loop.
Yeah.
So it's the thing that gets repeated depending on the number of posts you have in that category. So just like a blog, if you have like a blog with 10 posts, so you have like 10 repeated loop items.
Yeah.
And in this case, I just created the loop using the Divi builder, where you can just see it easily. Let's load it. Let's see if we're gonna load twice or not.
That usually does.
Yeah.
Yep.
It usually does, actually. Yeah.
Let's see who's gonna reload. Oh, just quit it there. So I have just one section, one row, and 4 columns. So in this case, I have 1 column, 4 columns here, 4 different modules. Let's see where we go. So I have like a read more module that's included in the plugin, in the CPT layout injector plugin, where they have like certain modules as well. So you have like the CPT title and a read more button, where I can insert like the button text, and I can do some styling as well. Yep. Probably I gave it here a class here, loop element button, just to target it by CSS. Like text here, client status. This is in this case, because it's a kind of a taxonomy, because I have like the status, service, and source, lead source taxonomies. And then you have a different way of displaying it. So it uses, in this case, PHP to display it, and where I created the shortcode, and where I can just input the shortcode here in the text module. Here I got as well a shortcode as well, in this case for client contact. So because it calls in the contact that's linked to the client. So we have a client, and that has a contact. So in this case, for Pearson Hartman, we have 2 different contact persons. So in this way, if we would add the client, you could have a client and you have like custom fields for like contact 1, contact 2, you have their name, you have their email address and things like that. But the best way is to separate it into different CPTs. So I wrote a PHP shortcode to just include it here, and I got like the CPT title, so which is like the page title that's given to the post. So in this case, to the client name.
Okay.
So that's the loop archive. So if you look at the client archive, and we go in there. Let's stop it when it's loaded. It's not reloaded. Let's see.
That's going to do it.
Yep. So basically what we have here is we have the sidebar where we have, let's see here, clients. Let's go back. We have this sidebar here with the filters, which I set up using a widget. So it's a sidebar, and it just shows the widget area. In this case, I initially used a normal section, which I could have used, but then I started just to experiment with the different layouts, how to accomplish it. So in this case, it's just a special layout. But it could have been a normal section as well. I have just one column here with the text. So that's the title here on top. And let's see, a button that's shown on mobile to hide and show the filter. So on mobile, it's kind of horrible to have the entire filter shown. So I have a little bit of jQuery. I have like a button here below, which allows you to hide and show the filter. So it doesn't take a lot of space.
Okay.
Let's see, and then I have like the code here, which I wrote here just to create here the different titles here, headers here. So company, contact, and status with some HTML markup. I got here some nice Divi related and search filter related information, because I needed to indicate which element needed to be executed to be filtered. There's kind of a bug in Search Filter Pro, and as well together with Divi, that you have to insert here the widget as well, but also kind of code to make it filter here as well. So if I would go now to select the status, it will filter easily the different statuses. So if I just go to
just to sort of sum up a little bit, you've basically built all of this with your lifetime probably license for Divi. So whenever you bought that, however much that cost you, and obviously going forward, having that lifetime license is it's already bought and paid for.
Yep.
You've got your advanced custom fields pro
fields lifetime as well.
Lifetime as well, which is still on for sale at 100 Australian dollars at this moment in time, but soon to be going up in January to 259 a year for a developer license. And custom post types using CPT UI.
Well, that's for free as well.
Also free. So
free plugin.
Really, what you've managed to achieve here, from when you think of the complexity and the huge amount
liberty as well.
The huge amount of data that you've got on there, creating that system, that is incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yep.
So,
how many hours do you have into this so far, Christian?
Well, with my design perfectionism, I think a little bit more than that you would need to accomplish it, but as well because I included some tools. Well, I really don't know, I think.
Because I know you've been working on it on the side for quite some time now. And I mean, and it shows. Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, it has just been in the, in the nightly hours, evenings. But I think the majority was to create the client pages, to create all the fields, to create the first layout, and then it's just duplicating in the Divi library the different single page layouts, because the single page layout are a little bit larger because it is in the archive or a loop. But if I would say, it's over 60 hours, I think.
Wow.
Or more.
Wow.
Because there's quite some custom coding as well. Let's see how many lines of CSS. Well, 1400 is not that much actually, for me.
What's amazing is that all that functionality, all that stuff, all the fields connected and rendering here and there, that's just fabulous.
Yeah, well, here got all the PHP that is used. So that's quite a lot. It's like 800 lines of PHP, which majority is to create shortcodes, to deactivate things, to register things. A lot of the PHP goes into the dashboard, which is quite awesome, which shows here like the number of contacts there are, how many tools are registered, just to have a little bit of fun here as well. It recognizes how many, which percentages of my tools are lifetime licenses.
You are hilarious, Christian.
It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. The level.
Well, if you look at CRMs, they all have these like this little these little things to know. So I have like from the domains I registered here, like in the demo contents is like one domain is in use. So for me, it's as well to run my company. So I know how many plugins are yearly or monthly, which I pay. Yeah. So I know exactly how many things are lifetime. I have like here as well included domain names, where I can just decide and I can see in one place which domain names I own, if they're active, for example, if they have a domain name registered and a hosting package allocated to it with a website on it, or in this case, for example, mydomain.com, which is just a 301, just to maybe protect my domain name, or it is to for a future project which may do. I include here the renewal date. So in this way, I have like some different registrars here as well. So I know exactly where documents or domains are registered.
So I've got a question. I've got a question for everybody in the group. Who's going to go off and create something themselves based on what they've seen tonight?
Why would I do that when I have Christian?
Yeah, I was just going to ask where he's going to translate it.
And that's not super likely.
Now this looks like a completely universal tool for all web designers or agents, whatever. Like, it's amazing because there is everything.
I'll wait for his Black Friday sale.
I was just looking at those advanced fields. The price in euro, it's actually not so bad.
Okay, so I'm very conscious of the fact that we're going to be very limited on time here. So has anybody got any burning questions that they want to ask Christian? And then we'll wrap up the presentation side of the
So I just want to clarify that if the way that you're displaying it in the front end is that it's by the short codes, is it? And then
both ways. In this case, there are, like, for example, for Divi, let me show the plugin that I use. There's a Divi ACF module as well. It's from Sean Barton, which I think is maybe lifetime like $15, which let's see if I got it here. So short SC is, this case is short code, and probably here client number is of the ACF module. So you can see here as well ACF single item settings. So I can just select a field. So and then you just select the field, you give it a name here, a title, and it will just show up like that.
That's so simple.
That's easy. Yeah.
And then you just add a class and you can edit the design,
Exactly. So in this case, what I did is that I add like ACF field class and just target that for all the classes, for all the fields on this page. So yeah, if you can see, there's quite a lot of modules here on this page.
That's very
so it's cool. A little bit.
Wow. Holy.
Yeah. So in this, so how you can see, this is the repeated field. So it's just one field, just one module, which in some ways here could be included as well.
I love the detail. I love the detail in all your descriptions as well.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
as text or image or.
Yeah. I just needed that. I just needed that as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Can I just ask a question?
I didn't function like that. I didn't even. I found it just by accident, this titling of the modules, and it's so nice.
Sorry, Kylie.
Kylie?
Yeah, Kylie, go.
So this has come along a really huge amount, even though it looked beautiful when we saw it a few weeks ago. Christian, congratulations!
Mhm.
That's really. I'm just wondering how big you're planning to get, or you think that you need to go with a like a off the shelf CRM, because there's a lot of manual entry and stuff.
Mhm.
Thought about how to integrate or automate with something, other
Well,
things.
in some way, I think there are like two options. If I'm going to do it, for example, for clients that are not like the general website clients, for example, the local company that needs a CRM just to contact any client without the tools and domain names. I could just use it like this, maybe translate it or just change the coloring a bit, and I can
Sorry,
just
I
like
mean for your own business. So if you're managing all of your
uh-huh,
clients, say, can
yeah.
you, how many clients do you think you can manage in here? Like, could it be 50 or 500, or, before it gets a bit unwieldy about entering all the data?
Well, if you do it well, you just keep it up to date from day to day, right? So you get a new client, just insert information. Well, what you can do as well, you have like WP all import, which is like a CSV import, Excel import file as well. So if you use another program, you can export it from that, and you want to import it here, you can just use it, import it here as well, using, for example, an add-on for ACF. So it's like just the fields that you want to fill in, and maybe not all the fields that are included here will be included on their CRMs, because I just targeted really for my own needs. And that's, I think, one of the largest benefits, aside from not having all the costs. But from day to day, how many times I added like tools? Rarely. Like domain names, I can just, if I buy a new one or if I cancel it. So for example, a use I have for domain names.
Yeah.
And when I just filled in for my own, the live CRM for my company, I fill in currently the tools and the domain names. And it's all like domain names that I didn't even know anymore I had them. And based on that way, I just had an overview of all the things I had. And I knew, well, I'm going to cancel that one, I'm going to cancel that one. And I have, using the calendar plugin, for example, I have it here as well. It shows here mydomain.com. So it's a renewal date for this domain name. How many times are you looking? Well, I have no clue when there's a renewal date coming up. So I can just go into different months. And if you have it like filled completely with the next contact moment with the client, things. But regarding your question about the number of data you can insert in, how many products can you have with WooCommerce? I think that depends on your hosting.
No, I was just asking, what's
Yeah.
the ability level like of your running your business on your CRM? Like, how many clients do you think you can have?
Well, I don't know. You can always have like the pagination with Ajax, and that's why I used as well the filters here. So if you have a lot of clients and I just want to have, for example, a view of all my paying clients, I just put in like here my status and like active clients. So paying clients, for example, and I displays all that. So in this way, I can just insert the leads, lost leads. I can include some information, some comments about a client, which I didn't even include in the fields as well. But yeah, one thing I didn't mention yet is that you can select what kind of post type, for example, or category of whatever you can apply the content, the information for. The fields from ACF. So for example, in this case, I just used a post type like client or domain or something like that. You can also have like post or page. So I have heard about people that use, for example, for the general website, they won't have to give access to clients to their general pages, and they just use ACF to have like H1 title. For example, the header, the page header, where you have like the title and a little bit of CTA button or something like that. You can just create like a field here, and you can just insert it in your page builder. It doesn't have to be a custom post type.
Okay.
I haven't used it that way yet, but that way you could use it.
Okay. Right, we're going to have to wrap up. It's absolutely fantastic, Christian, going through all of that. Thank you so much. That was really, really.
You're welcome.
Just very finally, very quickly, has anybody got one last question that they would like to ask?
No, I think I just want to say it's fantastic and it deserves to make you rich.
Miro, you're the best.
Because you see, I saw a lot of software like this, and they would be done by the big company, and it wouldn't look so good by far. That's one thing, and it's so going into details, so it's amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the best things is you don't need a lot of plugins to get it done.
No.
Because if I look through this list, the absolutely necessary plugins to use to create like a system, for example, with the cars here that I have on this site, which looks quite professional. I think you only would need Advanced Custom Fields Pro if you have like repeated fields. And you need, depending on the functionality of the theme builder, because I don't know exactly how it deals with the loop archive as well, because I love to have the control exactly of what is shown on the archive page. So if you have a car, that would require different information than different other types of systems. So you would have like Advanced Custom Fields Pro, could be the free version as well, depending on how complex it will be. CPT Layout Injector, maybe Search and Filter Pro if it's a larger site and you would require some filtering, and it already reads the custom fields you have. So this one, two, maybe CPT Layout Injector will be 3. And CPT UI to create the custom post type 4. That will be the bare minimum, I think. Like in plugins. So, yeah.
Lovely.
It's quite easy,
right?
At least.
Well, I'm going to wrap up. It's we've gone over the hour.
That went quick.
Thank you all very much for coming to the meeting, and Christian, that is absolutely fantastic. Thanks for going through that.
You're welcome.
With us. And if anybody's got any further questions for Christian outside of this, either put it into the messenger group for others to see as well. That would be great. Or of course, contact him in the usual way.
Hit him up. What's your URL, Christian?
Well, that's gonna change. Currently, it's Brightsol.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Currently, it's brightsoldigitalmarketing.com. But we'll go to brightsol.nl. But
Brightsol, BRIGHTSOL, right?
Yep.
You talk funny, like your words look funny. I don't know.
Well, that's because I'm not a native. Not
Just
a native
kidding.
speaker here.
Just kidding.
Well, you should invite me more times so I get used to it and get to.
We'll do that
I'll still
again.
make fun of you.
That again. We'll get together again very soon. Thank you all very much, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Bye.
Mike.
Take
Hey,
care.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.